Hi everyone, take two. So that didn't work so well. Me walking around with the camera, and the internet wasn't very good out here. So take two, hopefully this works. So I'm just going to do it all sitting down in one place so the camera doesn't have a wee fitch. Anywho, I have been playing, because I'm a retailer, we're able to order all of the IOD stock, the holiday release, about 2 months ago. So we haven't had it for that long. We've had it for a couple of weeks. And of course we saw all the images and all the rest of it. And I have been playing with some of the transfers, which has been super exciting. And I just wanted to jump on today, the day of the release, to show you how cute and cool the transfers are. It's called a holiday collection. It definitely is not actually super Christmassy. I mean, there's a Christmas tree mold that's Christmassy. There's a really beautiful transfer called Candy Cane, which is full of Santas. That is now sold out from the IOD sisters. We can't get that anymore. So yeah, but there's some really, really beautiful ones which have, I'll show you one here. Look how cute this is. That is one of the fairies out of, I've just got things absolutely everywhere here, out of this transfer pad, which is called Fairy Merry Christmas. And yeah, it has like a few berries and that sort of thing, but honestly, what was that fell down? The things that are in it could be year round. The fairies in it are so stinking cute. It's not funny. So I have used this because it's really caught my eye. This is this big, like a big book size, has 8 sheets of beautiful small size IOD transfers. I've also been using this one, which is called Holly Glen. Also has 8 pages of woodland creatures, and they're really small size, so that's a bigger size book. Now this is my book I've been using, so there's cutouts, but look how gorgeous. And of course you don't have to use the whole thing. You could just cut out the little sparrow's head. Well, this is quite a good page just to give you an idea of size. I think this is working much better. If you can see me, give me a thumbs up or say hello. If you're watching the replay, please say hello as well. But look at that page. There's a couple of pages like that. And it's got like 9 little transfers on it. And there's 8 pages of this. So stinking cute. So yeah, so those are the 2 I have been playing with. I've got all my stuff spread down here from one end to the other. Hopefully I can show you something that's a bit inspiring and interesting today. And I'm going to show you how I put together some really cute things. I have done a really cool display at the back, and I'll take photos of that and I will show that to you later on. But yeah, this is just going to be a paint with me, have a wee look at everything I'm creating, and maybe give you a few ideas of how you can get Christmassy and gifting, crafting started, because if you want things for Christmas, I know that lots of you, well, I certainly am, are crafting now, and can't really leave it till December. Now, I have sold out of nearly all of my stock that I got in the first run, and I have 3 more orders coming my way. So I have put all that stock up for pre-order now. So if you go on my website, which is paintmevintage.co.nz, and you're wanting any of the IOD new holiday release, you'll notice if I physically don't have stock here in Tauranga, it says pre-order, and you are ordering from my orders that are coming. And as soon as they are here, that means that's secured that item for you. I will hold anything that you've ordered until everything is here, and then I will ship it out to you all as one parcel. If you've got any questions, let me know, but that is the easiest way. Otherwise, I'm going to have 10 different products all over the place. So I thought I had enough initially, but you all loved this release as much as I did. So yeah, it's exciting. So what have I been doing? I have been making lots of little bits and pieces. Now, this range is this wonderful artist, and go and follow her if you don't already. Her name is Lexi Garner, I think that's her name. Anyway, she's an IOD ambassador, and she, for us stockers, she did this really cute range called Dark Academia, which I loved, and I don't usually like this sort of look, but it was all around these beautiful images and creating like Christmas decorations and that sort of thing in this dark look, which I think will look amazing if you have these all hanging on your tree, or you could, and of course you could have this sort of thing hanging around the place, or as part of your Christmas display, or just because they look so cool. Like this one is not shouting Christmas. That is a wee fairy in there. So to make something like this, all I've done, this is a thrifted frame. It was, I'll show you the back. I have painted the back, but see, it was just like yellowy wood and this weird metal thing. That's the glass of the frame. And I took, I haven't got one just, oh yeah, I have. Here's one. So I took, pretend that's round, I created some molds, some appliques using my molds. Maybe I'll spin you down so you can see what I'm talking about here. So these are the molds I use to create what I've been working on. See that mold there? So this is an IOD mold, a silicone, they're flexible. You can make and you can create appliques using resin, which is hard, and you pour it, or paper clay, or you can even make them out of hot glue. Hot glue I find doesn't give the same sort of detail, but that's another way you can do it. So that little image there is me making an applique out of that particular mold. So this one is called, there's two frames molds. I can't remember if this is one or two. But see, this one has this great big huge frame, and you can cast that all as one, and it has this round one. So that round one there, I cast it out of resin. I glued it onto the glass of this already done picture frame. Now I've painted the whole thing. I've used some, what have I used? Not champagne, let's get it. I thought this looked really cool. The bronze gilding wax over the black Velvet Luxe. So Velvet Luxe is self-sealing, so it goes to a nice matte finish. And then I just highlighted all the details with my gilding wax. Super easy. So what I started with, I'm not going to make one of these from scratch, I'm just going to do finishing. It's like some sort of frame like this. Here's the glass, cleaned the glass, cleaned the whole thing. Got an applique, we'll pretend this one's not painted. Glued it on there, painted the whole thing as if it was one, and made a whole different piece of art out of it. So there, that is one idea. Another idea is to create some castings and glue them onto, this is just like a canvas panel. I've also got other canvas panels. I just dropped one. I bought these itty bitty ones. So there's ones that you can get black already and ones which are white. These are already pre-primed, so you can just paint straight onto them, and you could glue just like that. This is a resin mold, and it's already got the transfer on it, and you could glue it onto that, and then that could sit on the wall. How cute would that be? So yeah, I've got tons of ideas. I feel like I'm bursting with ideas. I love that IOD have put together these small transfers, and they come in varying sizes. See, that is a big one, and that is a little one. And yeah, because crafting for Christmas is all about small things. This mold here, can't remember what it was called, but I've already shown you this one, which I have used a lot. Oh, here's the other frames mold. Comes with two big ones, but you could do one just from this one as well. And see that piece there? I've painted the backs to make them all pretty, but that is a casting I've made with our 2-part resin, easy cast. It's chemicals, you mix them together, stir them up. I really hope this is working okay. Stir them up, and then you have resin that is pourable. You have 2.5 minutes to pour it in, and then it sets in about 20-30 minutes, and you've got your casting. So this one is a resin mold. I've put that transfer in the middle. I actually had paint all over my hands and got paint on the transfer when I was finishing the back. So it wouldn't wipe off because it was self-sealing and I'd let it dry too long. So when I put my gilding wax to make the details of that pop, because this is what resin appliques look like until you paint them, I just put a little bit on here too, and it hid where I put my black marks. I mean, how cute is that? That's as big as my hand. And I thought what I would do is drill some holes and make them hanging. So that is super cute as well. Right, I need to put these somewhere securely while we start creating together. So let's do that. Got any questions? Please let me know. Right, other molds I've used the 2 IOD frames molds for all of these. I've also used, I think this is called Wings. I did have it, but I've sold out of this now, and it's called Wings and Feathers, but a really cool one to use. See, these never go out of style. If you get them, hang on to them. And then this one was, I think they have the names on it, Blitz. This was the Snowflake IOD Holiday release from last year. So I've used that this year too, because you just build them up and build up your collection, and you can use them all the time. They're not going to go out of style or out of fashion, because you can refashion them into all sorts of things. So let's start with something really simple. I have these just MDF tags with a hole in them. I have this big one, which is the size of that one there, and I've got some smaller ones. You guys might be interested in buying these. I'm not sure. I don't have them on the website. I just kind of made them for me to do some creating with. But these are my blanks. I painted that up in black, so then it looked like that. And then once it was really dry, this is a transfer out of the Fairy Mary pack. And then I had a couple of the little snowflakes that were casting. I've painted them and then glued them on there. So I'm going to hang this, but to make that pop even more, my little colour theme for this year is, for this dark academia one, is bronze gilding wax, which is our beautiful artisan one, over the black. So I'm pretty nice and warm. So I've got nice warm fingers. And I think you'll be able to see this. And if you just dust your finger with that gilding wax onto, just get a little bit more, that mold, look how the details pop, and just adds a whole new dimension to this really cute tag. How cute would these be on presents? You could make an individual one for all the special people in your life. You don't have to do them black, but even if you did, you could do a silver pen right on the back of them, so then they get a present from your card instead of store-bought cards that they can keep and hang on the tree or do, have in their room. But yeah, so your card is like a present as well as as well as what you've actually given it on. And I think what I might do, and see, so cute how it has kind of like raggedy edges already. Might do a bit of gilding just around the edge as well and around the whole bit. Just a touch, I don't want to go crazy with that. So yeah, it's just about creating layers and some interest with your pieces. I might quite like the idea of some of it on the edges. So yeah, that is from, yeah, just a plain wee MDF board. Super cute. Right, so that's a big one that you could do. What about a small little one? So again, this is just a casting that I made out of the frames mold. I've painted it black. Once that was dry, I cut out those, are they chipmunks? I don't know what they are. The little heads of the woodland, which is not called that. I haven't had a chance to learn the names. Holly Glen. And now to make it work in with my whole piece, I'm going to do the gilding wax around there. I honestly think these are just going to look adorable as a grouping. And then these are going to make up, I like that we can create some of our Christmas decorations for the store. I'm just going to do half of this. And you can go a bit crazy with the, quite like putting it on the edge as well, with the gilding wax over black, because it just highlights things so well. So then if I show you that, how good is that? Without gilding wax, with gilding wax. Miles of difference. And I also, see, look, it's even got this teeny tiny edge around it. So you just need to get your finger in there gently. I'll do a bit of a slow-mo of all of these once they're finished as a group, so I can show you all too. I must say, I do have to be quite careful. I tend to put my finger right onto the image quite a lot. But anyway, he's finished. Simple, so cute. Right, so that's that little one. Really want to keep these clean and out of the way. I'll show you a couple of others that I've done. This one here is just a funny old frame from the op shop. This is the glass we've painted over. I have glued the applique directly onto the glass and done that. Look, just so fine, super, super cute little fairy in there. So I'm going to do the whole gilding wax thing on that as well. I won't bore you with that. Here's another version. This is one of those canvas boards. That is a little bit, so you can see it. Got a remnants on my finger. Is a frame I've created from the IOD frames mold, stuck them down, and then that little fox is from the Holly Glen transfer pack. So obviously I'm going to do all my gilding wax on that too, and he's going to be makeup part of my piece. Here's a bear. She was in a bigger one, and I just loved her face, so I cut her out. Oh, and how did I cut them out so accurately, you might ask? I did little templates, which I kept. I'm just going to get that gilding wax off my fingers so I don't put it on all the things. I'll show you a trusty wee basket here. So these scraps here are like the backings of the transfers. So here's a transfer here, when you and you just cut them to size. But what I did is I created little templates. Now it's probably not even going to fit. Look, little templates out of discarded backing paper. Well, that doesn't fit that one, but it fits one of the ones I've got. So is it that one? There. There's the template. I just cut them to size. I got the old scrap bits of the back of the transfer, pushed it into where I wanted my transfer to be, went around it with a pen, cut it to size. You can do it with the white or with the clear, and then I know exactly the size I need that transfer to be. So if I, instead of having that beautiful owl in there, if I say wanted that fairy in there, I don't need all of her, but I can, the see-through ones I felt were quite good because I can just wiggle that around, work out how much of the fairy, if I want her hand, if I don't, draw around that template, and then I've got the transfer exactly the right size to then apply to my, where I'm wanting to put it. So like scraps, just need a pen and that. I did have some circle ones, but anyway, I'm keeping all of those because I've cut all those to size and they have been super handy. And I felt that was just the easiest way and the cheapest way. I'm using scraps to get the sizes that I wanted. So that's how those were. What you could also do is, I might do that if we have enough time. I've got here my Artemis bronze powder, my concentrate. I could mix up a liquid version of that, and instead of, but I'm trying not to get that everywhere, instead of getting this sort of look just with a small brush, I could actually get a really intense bronze metallic look that will tie in with my glides around this whole frame. So again, another look, again, variations of a theme, but that was another idea, but I don't think we will have time to do that today. Right, gently put those over there. Oh, this is another idea I had. This again was already a black canvas that I bought. Underneath it I had scraps. Here's one that I put on that big black sideboard over the weekend of the, I think it's called Sweet Notes, can't remember, of the gold writing. I put that underneath. Those are the wings. I've painted them black first and glued them onto my canvas, and I'm going to put a transfer here. Maybe we'll do that. Or maybe we'll go on to the lighter ones. See, I could, a transfer like that would fit there really nicely. No, I've got some other things to show you. So again, just another wee idea. Right. Here's some that I created earlier. This one is really simple, or you can see there, an old op shop frame, and it had in it this piece of card. I'm sure that, yep, that fits in there. And then I have got a piece of glass somewhere, I think too, which I'm not sure where that has got to. No, I'm not sure where that's got to. So anywho, I have that that backing board for that frame. I just painted because I've done a whole like a light coloured range as well using Burmese. That was the colour I've been using, and then I've done a wash of duck egg over the Burmese, and we might do one of those. We'll see how we go for time. But yeah, that frame I just painted all over using my Burmese chalk paint, and then I sprinkled some salt wash in it as well, and it's given it some texture. And then I created a wash, once it was dry, a wash out of the duck egg, which in this wee tray, which is just really super watered down chalk paint. Washed it over, dabbed some of it off with my cloth, waited for it to dry, and there's my frame. So, and once this was dry, I cut a template out of the stag transfer, and he's going to fit in there beautifully. But we're going to finish that frame with some wax because I've used chalk paint on that, so I want to finish that off properly, and we're going to add a few more details with that as well. Hello there. All right. Not sure where my glass circle is. I wonder if my kind assistant might be able to find it over there. Right, so this is our clear wax that works with our chalk paint. I've just got a small brush here, so I am wanting to make this a little bit more antique-y and rustic. So I'm putting this clear wax on first. I don't know if you can see, probably can't pick up on camera, that it just makes the chalk paint pop out a little bit more. I'm just going with all the texture I created on that. Every which way. And then I'm going to get a rag, just rag off the excess. So it shouldn't be sticky or tacky or anything like that. Cool, so that's all waxed. Now I'm going to make up a black wax. And I'll do that for you. Just on this piece of scrap paper. That's fine. Just need to get a wee stick. So I'm going to make a black wax. So you can do this with artisan paints because they are super, super pigmented. You can't do it with most other paints. You certainly can't do it with acrylic or self-sealing paint. So I've got a little bit of our clear wax there, but I want a black wax to go on there. So I'm going to get our carbon black chalk paint. Here, just got a wee sample pot of that here. And I'm going to do a 50-50 mix of chalk paint to wax. So I'm choosing black because I just want it to be a little bit aged and old on that piece. And I put the clear wax down first because I don't want this to take everywhere. I want it to be aged but somewhat subtle. And I've created that coloured wax on that piece of paper so that obviously my clear wax, I can use it as a clear wax or any coloured wax. I can make an orange wax or a pink wax or anything. Then I'm going to get a super small little stiff brush and get a little bit of this, and I'm not going to put it everywhere. I've got too much on my brush. Just going to kind of feather it. Nearly dry brushing here and there. And this is just going to grunge up those pretty colours a little bit. And where I've got all my texture, I really want to dab it and rub it into that because it will accent that. Then I'm going to get my rag and just feather that off. So this is just layering the waxes up to make that frame the colours that I want, but kind of a little bit more old and weathered. So can you see that there? And especially see there, so I've got this really cool texture in there from just putting painting really messily because our paint is very thick, but also just from putting a tiny sprinkle of salt wash here and there. So there's my aged frame. It's all I've lost the glass, so we won't worry about that in a moment. It's all aged nicely. this can pop up the right way back in there. Also lost the backing, and that's going to be my my I don't know what to call it. My other one was dark academia. Is this light academia? I've done a whole range of frames and bits and pieces with this colorway as well. So how cute does that look? Just from an old frame. And when I find the glass, it'll go in it. And when I find the other things, it'll go on the back. And I can put the hanger. I can tie a new piece of string across there. And that's going to be good to go. So he's going to look super cute. Hopefully you can see all that detail here. Right. This up here. I've done a slightly larger version of that here too. We can really, I think, see the texture really well. I don't think I will wax that one, but I'm going to do exactly the same process. And on this one, I do have my glass. What? Oh, did I just put it in my black wax? Just move this out of the way. Oopsie. So, oh, I can see it there. Let's wipe that off before I get it all over myself. So, I've painted my frame. I still do need to wax it, but I can put my glass back in. This was the old cardboard insert. I just painted one side. I'll put her back in there. Obviously, I'll put all the glass and everything in too, but I need to wax this off camera, and then I will show you all the things. Look how cute that is going to look against those. So the Fairy Mary, as well as the Holly Glen transfers, tend to have a beautiful kind of light background with writing on it. It's all mottled and old and all the rest of it. And the Burmese, I feel, is a great colour to go with it. Another good colour would be Peony. Another good colour would be Marley. But yeah, Burmese just looks fantastic with these colours. So that was Burmese, and then a duck egg wash. Other ones that I have created. This one here, again, just an old canvas. I've put this, out of the molds, I created a resin applique out of the molds. It was called the frames mold, and I'm going to put a transfer in it. So let's see what we're going to put in there, and I can show you what I mean. I'm going to play around with what I think will look cute. So this one could go up that way or go up that way. I think I'm going to use it this way. She could be cute. What else have we got? I think this one really lends itself to a fairy. Don't ask me why, it just does in my head. I especially like, isn't she cute? And she's got the little blue mushrooms. I wonder how much of that I could get in there. So, go back to my little templates. Wonder if this template this template is what I used for the black ones. So that's the size and shape that I need. Oh yeah, so that's going to fit over her perfectly. So that's the shape for in there. And this is chalk paint. I've found the transfers have gone over them really, really easily. So I'm just going to grab a pen. I would love it if that was a clear, oh I do, I have a clear template. The white ones are good, the clear ones are better, because you can see through it and really get in your frame what you want, because I really like those, yeah, I really like the blue mushrooms, so I'd like some of the blue mushrooms in this one. Right, so I'm going to hold that over. And this has a protective coating on the top. I'm just going to roughly draw around it. Not drawing. not using anything special. It's just a ballpoint. Just gives me my rough idea of where I need to cut. Yep, cool. I'll cut that out. Doesn't matter if your pen's gone over the transfer or whatever, because remember there's a protective coat on there. So you're not actually drawing on the transfer. Don't spook yourself out. Right. Let's see if when we put that on we think that's going to fit. I think it is. I'm just going to shave a little bit off the top. Yep, cool. Right. Get my little stick. You get a wee rubbing stick in your packs. So keep those. And see, that is now the perfect template to use for another one. And then carefully, without touching it very much. So this, I painted these last night, mostly. So I know the paint's really nice and dry. So with my stick, what I found is rubbing them, because they're rounded, rub them in the middle first. Don't try and rub all the edges down. And then start at one end. And they'll come off really easily. You can see it just kind of pop up. And then as you're getting, you're just putting down the thin transfer and pulling this up gently, then you can get the sides down instead of having to rub those two sheets down at once. And that's a good template as well. So I've got nice clean fingers. Right, and I'm going to get a clean cloth. Hopefully this is a clean rag. Just rub it down, make sure she's got into all the grooves. I can feel a little bit of texture under there from the salt wash. Just want to stuck down nicely. Oh, she looks so cute. How cute is that? And then my finishing touches for that, if I can find all my things, is clear wax. I'm just picking it up from the lid, so I don't need very much. Over the whole thing, you can go over the transfer as well. Okay, clear wax won't harm the transfers, in fact it'll protect them. I'm kind of dabbing quite a bit just to get the clear wax into all that detail. So again, I'm clear waxing first just so I can have a subtle amount of black wax on it. Wiping off my excess, that's always important. If you leave the excess on, it'll just create like a sticky mess. You'll have every little bit of dust and hair and all the things stick to your pieces if you leave things too waxed. So that's it. Wax kind of makes everything pop, and then I'll get a little bit of my clear wax. This time making sure I don't shove my piece into it. A little bit on my brush. I really want to go around the edge of this piece. And when you're thinking about aging and doing that sort of thing, think about where the dirt and the grime on something would collect. And it's usually, if you're thinking about carvings, it's around the edges of things, in the middle of things, you know, where it can't be wiped off. I'm just going to go around the edge of the transfer as well. And then this is going to create some really cool shadows. And I don't know if I'm going to do any gilding wax on these ones yet. I kind of wanted two things with a different look. So we'll see. Right, so that's my black wax on there. And then again, get a clean rag, wipe the excess off. So it's just leaving some of it behind. And that clear wax that's on there already, hopefully I'm not jolting the camera too much, gives this a little bit of slip so it can, you've got a little bit more control over where that's going to go. And then I really like to feather my edges in, so this kind of, when I wipe that off, I kind of smudge it round and round, and that gives me a soft and not a harsh edge on my aging. Oh yeah, I really like that colour with those. Yeah. And again, I use the salt wash to create a bit of texture. And now I've got very little wax on my brush. I'm just kind of going around the edge, basically dry brushing it on to this piece. Cute. Yeah, how cute is that? It just gives it a bit more dimension than leaving it just in its painted form. So I've got a bunch more of these that I've done. I'll show you those, and then I think we'll finish up. So I need to work out what transfers I'm going to put on them. Again, this is an old frame with 2 appliques glued on it. I'm going to put a transfer in there. Just a mould, resin, painted and washed. These are quite cool. So these were green. Let's see, there's brown and green, and they had a black board in them. So this is a redesign mold, a retired one I think from ages ago. Glued that in the middle, painted it with the Burmese with some salt wash, created all that yummy texture. Did a wash with my duck egg all over, and the little chalkboards that we're never going to use now will create a nice stand which will go with all these pieces that I'm creating, this little wee collection. Oh, and there's this was quite cool. I think I put this on my Insta stories. Yuck. This is actually a mirror. I'm going to put the mirror back in, but same thing, painted it all with those colors. I'm going to put the mirror back in, which will look really cool. And yeah, I hope all that gives you some nice inspiration. I'm going to get up now and show you my little display behind there. Hopefully it doesn't cut out. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please say hello if you're here or on the replays. It just really helps us get the word out about and get some inspiration out to other New Zealanders or anyone in the rest of the world if they want. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll do a little show over there, and then I will say goodbye. Cool. Right, how am I going to spin this round? Oh, and there's my roof, lovely. Here's the wall of our classroom. Here's our wee display here. See, how cute does that look? This is my dark academia display. What's the colour? Duck egg. It is duck egg. That's the black version of the stand that I just showed you. Some of the moulds, I've just used them exactly how they come. Oh, there's a wee mould just with the gold writing in. Oh, and that bunny had to have his own frame. I don't know if I'm going to gild that yet or not. I just think he looks really lovely like that. So, anywho, that's, yeah, hopefully that gives you some ideas. Any questions, let us know, and thank you for watching. See y'all.